Alright guys, so I received a few requests to do a review on different formations and strategies. So I've been busy, so I finally decided to come around to do it. And so today I'm gonna be talking about formations, and then in subsequent episodes I might talk about work rates and strategies and stuff. But for today we'll be focusing on formations. So there's actually two main formation that I use. The first one is actually this formation that you see here, 4-1-1-4. Very offensive. So you've got 4 defenders, one defensive mid, one attacking mid, and then 4 forwards. You have 1 striker, 1 center front, and 2 wingers. Now this formation serves me very well. It is very attacking, so when you attack you realize that you have many options. You can either go to the wings, you can either go for the high through, you can do anything you want. But the main problem for this formation is actually the lack of bodies in the midfield. So if you realize when you use 4-1-1-4, right, the 4 forwards will not track back, so unless you pull them back on your own. But when the opponent gets the ball, most of the time you have only the cam and the CDM that will try and defend, which means that you are playing basically only about 6 defenders or 6 people defending. Tends to leave you open for the counter attack, so that is the drawback for this formation. Now, but if you want a very ultra offensive one, and basically this is it. Now another formation that is getting increasingly popular, in fact it is used by many pros like Jaren, is the 4-3-3. So it looks something like that. Basically you have a CM, you have a CDM, and you have a cam, and then you have 3 forwards like so. So basically this is what most of the pros are using. So this is 4-3-3. I've been using it and I find that this is very balanced. So you have 3 bodies in the midfield, basically you have 3 midfielders, and then you've got 3 forwards and 4 at the back. So when you play with this formation, you find that at every phase of the play, be it from defense to transition and then to attack, it is very balanced. You have bodies everywhere. The main drawback for this formation when I use it is the lack of people when you are attacking. So because the cam will actually go back to defend as well as the CM. So what happens is when you are counter attacking or when you are attacking, you realize that sometimes you only have 3 attackers attacking, and that is a problem against defensive players, which you will realize that there's more and more people playing very defensive formations, which I'll talk about later. So one way to counter that is to be very patient in your transition. So most people like to go quickly from the back to the front, a long ball, high through, whatever. So that will leave you very how do I put it, limited when you come to attacking. Whereas when I look at the pros play, right, what happens is they will actually hold on to the ball with the midfielders and then wait for support, be it from the fullbacks or the cam or the CM. So they will have more people at the front, but then of course to do that you will have to be good at holding the ball, which I'm not. So one way to counter that would be if you move these 2 in, left front, right front. So if you are a central player, then this kind of setup will be suitable because you have more people in the center. But when you play against people who plays a sweeper, who plays 6 defenders, 8 defenders, you realize that the middle of the field is very packed. So this would basically nullify your attack, and that is why the wing comes in. If you realize, I spoke to a few players like Jaren, Kelvin. They say that they play via the wings more often, and I find that it is true. If you go to the wings and you cross it in, of course if you aim it and not just pointlessly put it into the box, you will actually have a higher success rate when it comes to scoring. Of course, that takes a lot of practice to cross the ball. So yeah, these two are the main formation that I use. Both have their strengths and both have their weakness. If you like the ultra offensive one, you can take the 4-1-1-4. If you like something more balanced, you can take the 4-3-3 or any variation. Some people use the 2 defensive mid one, something like that, the 4-2-1-3. That is also the main problem for 4-2-1-3 is also the attack. Only 3 at the front, you've got only 1 striker, so most of the time you'll find difficulty attacking. In fact, I find it difficult as well. Now, let's talk about the ultra defensive formation that so many people like to use nowadays. So what happened is you will see people doing this 5-2-3 with sweeper, 2 defensive mid and 3. This is a very it's just my opinion. What I think is don't do this, because it is spoiling the fun of the game. Why would you want to go so defensive and spoil the play? Basically, I know you want to win, everybody wants to win, but it's not fun. I've tried this formation. Most of the time you're just soaking in the pressure. Once you get a ball, put it up, go for a long ball from your defender straight to your striker and then counter attack. Yeah, and I've seen people doing 6, like this, something like that. I mean, look at that. This is called parking the bus. I wouldn't encourage that. But if you want to do this, go ahead. I would recommend the 4-3-3 or the 4-1-1-4. And another formation that I used to use together with my teammates, Jaren and Shini, is 4-1-2-1-2. We used to use this a lot in team games. It is very balanced again. So you've got a CDM right here to give you defensive solidity, and then you've got a cam to support the attack, and then you have 2 wingers to fly up and down. It might not be very suitable for a 1v1 because you realize that the 2 wingers, this is the right mid and the left mid. So the 2 wide midfielders, they tend to come back and help out in defense a lot. So when you are attacking, sometimes they do not have the, they don't get into the final third quickly, or by the time they get to the final third, they are out of stamina. So that might be a problem. But in team games, this is actually a brilliant formation. So because for some reason you can actually manually control the 2 midfielders, or you can control the 2 strikers to make runs. This is actually not a bad formation for 2v2, for 3v3. Of course, we have used other formations as well. So basically that is it in terms of formation. I hope that you guys find this useful. Oh yeah, by the way, I believe that after trying, because I have a lot of problems with formation ever since the change to this new engine. So I've spent many hours reading guides online or looking at other pro players formation, and I realized that ultimately it still boils down to yourself. You need to have a formation that you are comfortable with. I can tell you the 4-1-1-4 is the best formation, the 4-3-3 is the best formation, but you will realize that you might struggle because it just doesn't suit your style of play. So if, let's say, for example, if you are the kind that spam high through, then you might want to focus on the central areas, maybe a 2 striker and a center front, maybe something like that, or if let's say you are a wing player, then something like that with 2 good wingers, with 2 strikers would be good, something like that. No, I'm just giving you guys different scenarios, so you need to define your own play style first. If you are a fast counter attack player, you want to have a formation that is built for counter attacking. If you are a possession based player, if you like to tiki taka, then probably you want to have a formation that is suitable for tiki taka, which is the 4-3-3. You'll realize that when you do the 4-3-3, you can hold the ball if you are good at it. You have many bodies in the middle. Yeah, so ultimately you need to find your own formation, and I hope that you guys find this helpful. And do drop a comment, let me know what kind of other content that you guys want to see. Don't forget to help me to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100 subs, and then help me to share this with your fellow friends. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you next time.